Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes. Hey, Chris. Are you ready to begin? Let me know when you're ready. Okay, all right. Good afternoon, and this meeting of the Longview ISD Board of Trustees is called to order. It is 12:04. If you please join me in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Heavenly Father, thank you for this time. Thank you for all that you've given us, and thank you for all the things in the glory that you have shown us. Please use this time for us to serve you and the people of our community, and please bless this time that we are together. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Texas flag, pledge allegiance to thee, Texas.
Thank you. Dr. Wilcox?
Thank you very much. We have several items today under the superintendent's report. We're going to start with Mr. Brewer is going to go over our extended graduation requirements. And we tried to develop a plan that met all the needs of parents and as well as the students. We tried the best that we could. Mr. Brewer?
Can I do that for you, Mr. Brewer?
Done. What we've already done, things that we've accomplished, great time with our individual graduation. And really enjoyed it. I got a lot of good comments on it, and but that's what we have in place that we've already done, and the second sheet is what we're getting ready to do. We have graduation set for June 1st and June 2nd, and some of the information that we will be giving the graduates when they come tomorrow to pick up tickets, starting tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to pick up tickets. We're going to give them this information, and if you flip on the back side of that sheet, you'll see it in the event of rain. So basically what we are going to do for graduation, we divided those students out, about 150 or so apiece for 2 graduations, 450 seats with 3 people, graduate, and whoever's going to give the diploma. If they want both parents to be involved in it, or if they want granny or whoever they'd like to give them their diploma and flip their tassel. We had a great time with that. Parents really loved it. Never thought about it, but I've given all of my children their diploma, and I know some of you have, and you got a real good feeling out of it. Well, I think they got that.
Really neat.
I don't know if we'll be able to get rid of that or not, but anyway, it really did I think they had a real good feeling, and I've talked to a parent who was upset that their child is not going to be with a certain group June the 1st or June 2nd. But once I told them that they was going to give them their diploma, they got a little happy about that. See, well, at least we get something out of it. But this is what we have. Biggest problem we got is I'm looking good for the football field, but I'm looking shaky in the Coliseum. And we're going to try to figure that out if we have to go to 4 graduation ceremonies. The other thing that I want to bring to your attention, we have everything recorded from the board president giving the first comments on the graduation and why we're doing what we're doing because of the virus. And we're doing the best we can to make those parents happy and the students happy. And we're just trying to make a decision on whether Dr. Wilcox and I talked about just running the whole program on the Chromebook and just do it that way. And then everything is consistent both nights. Okay? And it starts off with Ms. Northcutt making a speech, and then all the program. The president does the pledge, then the prayer, all of that's on there, and it's all been recorded by Mr. Palmer. On the way, I can't say enough about Mr. Palmer and him recording and dealing with us. I think I had to do mine 3 or 4 times to get mine right. So
I think I did mine, what, 6 or 7?
so everybody who was in thought it would be great if the board president had something to say due to our circumstances, and she's done a good job with that. But other than that, if there's something on here you want me to explain to you, or what you want to look at, but this is the layout.
I have one question. If we have to go inside, what will be the rule on face masks? Because that's going to be critically important, because we're going to all be breathing down on each other. And we're facing each other there. Are we going to be putting out a rule that you must have a face mask on?
Well,
Not against the law. I mean, we can, if you have somebody come in somewhere, you can ask them to wear a face mask.
I brought that up and thought, is that something we want to enforce? All the little fighting I've been seeing on TV, I know I don't want to fight nobody that don't have one on,
No.
or deny them graduation because they don't have one on.
And well, I certainly don't want to deny them graduation, but we don't want to have an outbreak of COVID immediately afterwards and get a lot of sick people, too.
I know what you mean.
We don't want to lose Granny because of graduation either.
Whatever the board.
Well, I think that right now our governor has recommended that you wear a face mask. There's nothing imposed by it. And I think that, it's if you think that you are susceptible and you're in a high-risk category, I think it's incumbent upon yourself to do that, wear one. I don't think we can impose it, but I think we can surely tell people we think that we recommend it.
Well, everybody is susceptible regardless of anything. I mean, everybody is
But
susceptible.
high-risk category is what I meant,
Right,
sorry.
and I know a lot of people have not had a microbiology background. I have 12 hours microbiology, and I know how critical it is. And I love graduation, and I want to be there for graduation. But I'm just hoping it doesn't rain. If it doesn't rain, we're good. I think we're fine in the stadium. I think it's great. Let's pray we don't have rain.
If it's inside, I'll try to be in sight distance if it's inside myself.
So let's pray we don't have rain, yeah.
Yeah, and then you might be able to see me even if it's outside, because I am high risk for that reason. And that's why we're doing everything, doing all the speeches and everything that way.
I think that's a great idea.
But we can certainly put down here, there's a recommendation to wear a face mask.
We say strong recommendation?
Well, you could just, recommend it, and if people are,
Yeah.
if a person's at high risk, they need to look at who they're sitting beside and
Exactly.
take their own responsibility and not sit beside somebody
A little
like that.
common sense.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Put
that's all we
we
can do.
recommend face mask?
We can't deny access, but
I understand.
we're recommending it for everything, so.
Okay,
Okay, I can put that on there.
thank you.
Okay, just real quick, I'm gonna tell you what, I don't think y'all could have done anything more than you did to try to make this good. I've had so many comments, people that came with a friend to watch a kid graduate, and they were in disbelief at how we just bent over backwards to try to make it a special deal. So, that's an A+. It just couldn't have been better, I don't think. And Jenny was so nice in her responses to those email responses, much nicer than I would have been. But y'all did a good job on that, James. A good job.
I want to piggyback what Chris said. I had several parents call me after they attended this graduation by appointment. They said we should continue this in years to come. They really enjoyed it because, it's almost like you get a one-on-one experience where they haven't had that in the past. You've got a mass function where you got 500 or 600 children, and now you get to basically set your day, set your time, and have your one-on-one graduation. There were a lot of families that really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And your child's the center of attention for the whole thing. And I thought I had a lot of people call me. What I saw on Facebook was wonderful. I was going through Facebook looking for kids. And, yeah, we may want to have that down as an option eventually, so I thought that was really neat.
I know it's a lot of work for y'all too.
It was, y'all have knocked
A
yourself
lot
out.
of work.
Hey, well, between Miss Liz and the picture taking and working
They
from
were-
8 to 8,
Yeah.
nobody had ever, and I stepped still, my wife said I done got black, I didn't know I could get black. We started that morning at 7:30.
Yeah.
And we
Oh, yeah.
didn't get home to 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it was well worth it.
It was incredible.
You know, everybody kind of rotated. You know, being the principal, I had to say congratulations to every student that came through. Even though somebody said, "Want me to take your place?" I said, "No, I want to be the one to say that to them." So we believe in kids. I told my counselors that this morning. I want to make people happy 99% of the time.
Well,
And I know that 1% we can work on, but I'm not upset when that 1% not happy. Because I know 99% of them, and I know you guys feel the same way. Some people just not gonna be happy.
that was a good deal there.
It was
So,
fabulous.
Mr. Brewer, if we, as board members, if we want to come to the graduation on the 1st and the 2nd, are you expecting us to come? What are we doing for that?
What I told you, we're gonna set it out, I'll tell Mr. Joey Jones, he's helping me with the layout, of course. I feel like we may sit you guys over there right there by where we're making the announcements, calling out the names.
Okay.
And you could sit there, and then we would be on the track so that we could help guide everything, make sure everything runs right with the council and administration. But of course, I don't know how many chairs we want to put there. If you want to come, that would be fine.
But what time will we show up in our regular place in the Lobo Den, and at what time will we show up? We need to be there?
It starts at 7:30, so I think y'all been coming in at 7:28 and 27, coming in at 7 o'clock or so. But anyway, we still can go down in the Coliseum or in the Lobo Den and get dressed, what we always do right there in the room there, and do what we've always done, and then march out.
Sounds good.
Hey, well, I thought I'd throw it in there.
What did he say?
He said that last comment was for Troy. Being 7:28, 7:29, but
I
whatever.
thought
we
it was
need to do.
7:32. No,
Yeah.
okay.
But we got it. Anybody that wants to be there, I'll just set enough chairs out there for whoever's coming.
You won't be involved in the diploma distribution this year, though, okay? Okay.
The parents are gonna do the diploma just like the other family did. They're gonna do the roving if they're IB students and all of that.
Oh, wow, that's
And
amazing.
they should get a kick. The only thing we're gonna allow them, if you look at this, you can take pictures between 5 and 6:15. And that's gonna be the only opportunity they will have to take pictures at graduation ceremony. Because when they get their diploma, they're gonna be exiting out.
Then they just leave.
They
Good.
leave.
Good.
What they do in the parking lot, social distancing, we're just gonna leave it
Okay.
that alone.
So that's what they're basically just going to file through, keep them social distance the whole way through. And then once that's done, then and do their parents, sorry about that, are the parents, because I haven't had a chance to read this, are the parents walking through with their student?
No, we're gonna have the parents get there and go have the seat where their child is gonna be, and then the graduate's gonna march in. And we're gonna bring them in by twos, coming out the Coliseum, out of the Coliseum. But then once they get there, the left will go first, and then they'll fall in. Instead of having one long line with 6 feet apart, they might end up uptown somewhere.
Exactly.
We're just gonna go two and pair them up that way till we get to the stadium.
Right.
Ronnie, I think that we got about 300 students left, Mr. Beard, out of the, I was surprised we had so many individuals, but we close to about a little bit over 300. I think we said it was 153 in one group, because that first group had to have 10% of the class, and then the second group is like 144, 145. And we still gonna have a ceremony tomorrow. You can call in and come through the breezeway and pick up your diploma. If you don't like this setup, or you didn't get a chance to pick it up, we're still gonna offer that tomorrow all day.
Ted, we still have 259 graduates according to this. But we may have fewer if they come through the breezeway tomorrow.
Right. Hey, thank you, Mr. Beard.
Can't even, I know how much planning y'all have done for this and how deep you have gone into figuring out seating and social distancing and capacity of both venues. And, you know, I know people like Ms. Milam did food for 3 days in a row for 12 hours a day for all the, for the staff and faculty. And I know, and I know that you've been working 14, 15-hour days and not the only one. So anyway, if I started listing the things that I do know, I'm going to leave someone out. But this has been a huge endeavor, and I'm so grateful for your leadership in this and the planning and the flexibility and the fluidity and how it's all come together. I just can't even thank you enough and tell y'all, I think on behalf of the board, how proud we are and what a great plan y'all have executed. It's great. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Again, all things that we do is through prayer and just trying to do what's going to be best for the students in Longview. And so we came up with this, but I wouldn't dare take all the responsibility for it. I think I started off talking with you about it, and then Joey Jones got in on it to help with the architect drawing up the plans on how we were going to do it.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it just worked out. And so I hate to say this, but I guess I can. I always give the Lord all the credit for the things that we do and his guidance. But thank you all for that. And again, I say that to Dr. Wilcox, and he always would say it, no matter what I said to him. He said, whatever you want to do, big boy. So anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Something on everyone's mind that's a little bit more complicated even than graduation, because we can't develop a plan for this, and that's the start of the 2020-2021 school year. We are planning on a summer school session. You have a tentative summer school calendar there, and we try to put on the bottom of everything that we release right now, this is subject to change and will be reviewed daily based on direction from the Texas Education Agency, Mayor Mack, and Governor Abbott, okay? So as of today, we're planning on having summer school at East Texas Montessori Prep Academy for pre-K, K, and grades 1 and 2, all at that campus where we feel like there's enough room there we can maintain the proper ratio, and we're looking at 10-to-1. And we want to start at this time July 6th through July 31st, and it will be Monday through Thursday, 8 to 2. And then on Fridays, 8 to 12, and we will serve every student that comes up there 2 meals and then give them a to-go meal when they leave. They will take that with them when either parent pickup or when they ride the bus. Transportation will be provided. Parent pickup will also be provided. And students that want to attend or participate virtually will be allowed to. And we are stressing our younger children because they're learning so rapidly. We want to take advantage of all the time that we can get. And logistically, we don't think we can get something together for everyone else. The governor and the commissioner just approved this last week. So any questions?
What's the registration process look like? Are these for kindergarten 1 and 2? Are those existing students that were enrolled already, or is this going to be an all new registration?
No, if you were already there, that you'll have a online enrollment for the summer school. And Mr. Williams, we'll be taking new students if any show up. So didn't want to misspeak. We do everything we can to never turn a student away. And any questions on that? All right, then. Yes, sir. Yes, everyone did get a handout, and Ms. Beard will have that and mail it to you if you're not going to be available to pick it up. She can do that. She'll send it to you and Dr. Simmons both. You'll get the whole packet. You get the whole packet handout, Ted, okay? Okay. Any other questions on summer school?
Are we planning on summer school for any of the upper grades?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Not this time. But we just don't feel like logistically we could get that
Yeah.
worked out. And with a July 6th start, we are looking at a whole array of early starts for the regular school year.
Yeah.
And we're looking at everything from August the 3rd on up to Labor Day. And we feel like there will be additional direction from TEA as the city, as well as Governor Abbott. And so we're not ready to lock in, but we are planning for all scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
The last recommendation that we've got from the agency last Thursday was try to look at an early start and some extended breaks during the year in case we have to close again because of the virus, or, last year there were a number of schools closed in East Texas just with the flu. And every year we get a number of students sent to school with the flu, with colds. Our feeling is with this year, with the COVID-19 awareness, that there'll be more parents holding their kids home. So we want to be as flexible as we can, working with the state on the extended breaks during the school year. We don't know what that will look like now. We're looking at everything from starting August 3rd, going till Christmas, and then taking a month off in January, or 5 weeks in January and February. We don't know. We're trying to keep the board and the community as informed as possible, but we are planning all scenarios. But here again, we have authorities that we have to work with, and as soon as we get all that information, we'll share it with the board. I want you to be aware of what we're looking at. Let the parents know that there are a lot of things on the table, and we're going to move forward in the best interest of our students and our staff. Any questions on that?
James, I know y'all heard this if I did, but there was some talk about some districts starting early, going to Thanksgiving, and then not coming back till after Christmas because of people traveling and Thanksgiving brings something back. I know y'all thought about that, but something to think about.
That's just one of the things that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Starting early, going to Thanksgiving, or going to Christmas, and then taking off. Normally it's, who knows with this, but normally we're pretty good till Christmas, and then January and February are where we have the most difficulty. We don't know. We could just go to Thanksgiving and then come back in January. We have to take a educated guess based on our experience. Is December going to be worse, or is January or February? And the board will get to make that decision. We'll give it to you. And I'll give you a recommendation, and then it will be what y'all approve for us to do. All right? Along those same lines, we will be bringing 12-month employees back to work shortly, and we'll start training for our other folks shortly after that, our teaching staff, getting them ready. Return to work safety protocols. All board members have a copy of that, and Ted and Troy, we will email yours to you. When we start back to work, we're going to have some protocols, and we want to make sure that these meet the approval of the board, because as Ms. Welge said earlier, if we want to say you have to wear a mask, are we ready to enforce that and then have consequences for that? Or do we just want to say, well, we recommend you wear a face mask. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Well, there are going to be people not happy with that. Okay? Either way, and I think politically there's some things there, but I think it even goes further than that. Some people are in a higher risk category, as Mr. Brewer said earlier. He is going to maintain social distancing at the graduation, even though he doesn't want to. So if we say masks are recommended and we have high-risk personnel coming to work to serve children, and then they have other employees that, for whatever reason, don't feel like they want to wear a mask or wash their hands or keep their social distance. We're not asking the board to make a decision today, but we will have COVID-19 work safety protocols that we're going to ask y'all to approve. And the reason we're talking about it early is give you time to make a decision, because the district is going to follow whatever guidelines you instruct us to follow. We are going to take a stand. We're going to give you a recommendation, but we're not going to ask you to approve a recommendation that you don't agree with. And, don't come to work when you're not feeling well. Well, okay, who can disagree with that? Don't share your electronics, those kind of things. But about the only thing on this list that is open to interpretation and could be problematic, it is not social distancing, it's not covering your mouth when you sneeze. Are we going to require our employees to wear a mask in their work area or when they leave their work area or whatever? Don't want a decision today. We'll accept comments now or whenever you want to give them. But at some point before school starts, we will be asking the board to approve work safety protocols for the 2021 school year. Any questions on that? All right, thanks, Ted. We have some admission, transfer, and attendance rules for 2021. These are for the board's review also. We'll be asking you to formally approve this later. These are just for our ETAA campuses. You can see we have some caps there number-wise. And we also are talking about the open enrollment policy of LISD now. Student can go to any campus their parents want to get them to, with the exception of Hudson Pep and Foster, and that's outlined on here. And this is prior to the end of the first 6 weeks of school. So if you live in the attendance zone, which are laid out here, and a feeder pattern of a certain middle school, and you want to attend another middle school, that decision has to be made prior to the end of the first 6 weeks. We hope it's before the start of school. But we're going to allow flexibility for our parents and our students to the end of the first 6 weeks. And if it's for discipline, if you are having a disciplinary issue at your other campus, you're not going to be allowed to transfer if the other campus makes that decision. But these are, when we ask you to approve this, you will have all of our campuses will be listed. And we wanted to give you this now. Mr. Williams and his department, Mr. Dennis Williams and his department have been working on this. And this is something, again, that we wanted to give the board early before we ask you to take action on it, where you would have plenty of time to ask questions, and hopefully we can answer those for you as we move forward. Are there any initial questions right now? We will bring this to the board for approval later. Yes, ma'am.
Am I reading this correctly, or is it be a typo on the chart under East Texas Montessori Prep Academy where it says the charter school cap is no cap, and then if you go over to the last column, it says 750 students, and below that it's blank. Will those be flip-flopped, or is there something that I'm not understanding? Longview's not on
Okay,
here.
you see East Texas, and then
Go-
the next charter, and then the next,
Oh,
It's
I'm
different
reading, that's
campuses.
why I asked, I'm reading it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going
we'll,
across.
we'll clarify that more before we ask you to approve it. Yeah, there's no caps in our CTE program or enrollment at Longview High School.
I'm so sorry. I was taking the first column and
We-
reading
we
all the way
should've- we should've
across,
had
and
it- we
it's,
should've
it's
had it
three
laid out
columns
better.
of two.
We'll get that.
I'm sorry, I'm having to
No problem.
get back a little bit. Bird's eye view it. Okay, that's all, thank you. That's what I wanted to ask. Clarified it.
We will get this solidified and get it back to you for final approval before we get
I
started.
get it now. Thank
Any
you
questions,
very much.
contact Dennis Williams' department or get a hold of Ms. Tracy or myself. Any other questions? Thanks for pointing us out because we need to make it a little.
No, it was me, not
clarified a
y'all.
little more.
It was me.
All right?
I'll look at it. Thanks. Right.
Any other questions on summer school or the tentative start of the 2021 school year? Please reach out with any question that you have. Everything is on the table right now. We are leaning toward a earlier start time than normal and taking extended breaks during the fall or winter of the school year. And we understand this will be a hardship on some parents if we take off 4 or 5 weeks in the winter. But, at the end of the day, the kids need to be in school a certain number of days, and we're going to have a better opportunity to get those days in early or later. And as I said, we're going to accept direction from TEA, Mayor, Governor Abbott, and make our best decision that is within the boundaries that they lay out for us.
So Dr. Wilcox, if let's say that is the direction we end up going, I know everything's on the table and we don't know about yet. But if we did do these extended breaks, then would we consider taking out some of those federal holidays and things where we don't go to school and we would have school on those days to help with those families who need to be working and would have to take vacation days then as well?
Probably not. We will
Okay.
probably leave Martin Luther King Day, Memorial Day, and Good Friday in the
What about-
calendar.
Okay,
That-
but those other Monday, Fridays that we have every now and then, I'm not looking at the
Yeah,
calendar.
those were for teacher training.
training, okay.
And those would be, the staff development will be flexible, but Memorial Day, Good Friday, were,
So can we envelop some of those teacher training days then into those extended break times so that we're
yes,
not?
yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
We certainly will, yes. And we could start
Mm-hmm.
teachers early. And my feeling on that is, we're just going to have to do what we have to do this year. So teachers may have to come in early for training. The team has been working on developing a plan. We have a lot of staff development we need to get done. We've had a 10-week lag, and we want to be ramped up and ready to be at peak performance when our students get here. So if we take a August 3rd, August 6th start time, we will be requiring professional staff members coming in to work during the end of the month of July. And that's just what they're going to be asked to do. Yeah, we're doing some virtual training now, Mr. Beard. Yep. It will be a combination of both, no matter how we move forward. And we will have a combination of both for staff as well as students. When we start the regular school year, we will have some parents that don't feel comfortable sending their child to school at that time. We are going to have open enrollment like we always do for everyone. And at that time of enrollment, the parent will be able to designate if they expect their child to be in attendance on that first day of school, or if they want to participate in our virtual program, with the caveat that the day they want to send the child back to school, they can. So they'll be assigned a classroom, a teacher, a schedule, because we are not going to punish a child because their parent doesn't feel safe sending them to school for whatever reason. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question tied to that. If we have some kids staying home, do we have virtual hotspots and computers in place for those kids that don't have their own stuff? I know we've been trying to do that, but are we going to be ready when that starts?
We're working on that as we
Okay,
speak.
okay.
We're not going to punish our students or put them in a difficult situation.
Yeah, don't want that to occur. Thank you.
Any other questions on that? That's something totally different for a student to enroll and not come to school, but they will be counted in attendance, and they will be provided instruction, and that's, another reason that staff will probably be required to come in during the end of the month of July to get prepared for a little different paradigm. Any other questions, Mr. Beard, Dr. Simmons? Anyone else on the board? Any question you have or that comes up about the start of school or plans, phone me on my cell, email me. We'll get you an answer as soon as we can. Our school year 2020, 2021 board meeting dates is in your packet. And as you notice there, we always like to have several meetings out on campuses during the year. Those are scheduled at this time to be here in the ESC, but you will see their special meetings may be moved to the campus locations if hopefully we get this sickness behind us. We'll move back out on the campuses, but right now all of our noon board meetings are tentatively scheduled to be back here at the ESC, but that's subject to change also. Any questions at all? That's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wilcox. It's a lot going on, so thanks a lot for that update. Do I have a motion for action item A?
Yes, so move.
Okay, I have a motion by Ava Welge and a second by Michael Tubb. Is there any discussion?
Any names on here we need to be aware of?
No, not yet.
Anybody?
No. No.
Before I approve it?
No.
Yeah.
None of the leadership team.
Good.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Right.
But that's a good question.
There's no further discussion. All those in favor? Okay, and there's any opposed? Right, and it passes. I think it's 6. I don't think that Troy is on the line. Okay, so it's 6-0. Hey, do we have any board member special reports? Okay, if not, then we will convene in closed session under the Texas Open Meeting